All this time, you've been taking her words at face value. You've been thinking, she just needs time. She's not over her ex. Or worse, if I stay patient, she'll come around. And it's not your fault. You were taught to be understanding, respectful, emotionally available. You were told that good things come to those who wait. But here's the truth. I'm not ready rarely means what you think it does. It's not about timing. It's not about her trauma. It's not about how nice you are, how long you've waited, or how much you've proven yourself. Most of the time, it means one thing. You don't excite her enough to break her own rules. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to decode this phrase, and more importantly, what to do when you hear it. I'm not ready sounds innocent, polite even. It's the kind of thing she says while avoiding your eyes, maybe twisting her hair, maybe giving you that half smile that almost feels like hope. You hear it and think, she's being vulnerable. She likes me. She's just not healed yet. And because you care, you give her space. You tone yourself down. You tell yourself you'll wait, that you'll be the rock she leans on when she finally figures it out. But underneath that gentle rejection is a reality most men don't want to confront. When a woman says she's not ready, what she's really saying is she's not ready for you. She's not ready to feel butterflies when you text her. She's not ready to wake up thinking about your hands. She's not ready to bend her rules, cancel her plans, or abandon her healing era to dive into the wild storm of attraction. Because she doesn't feel it. Not deeply, not uncontrollably, not enough. Here's the metaphor. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a cliff, holding a parachute. A woman who feels raw, magnetic attraction to a man doesn't ask if she's ready. She jumps. She jumps and figures it out on the way down. That's the chaos of real desire. It doesn't wait for clarity. It doesn't ask for time. It doesn't get scheduled after yoga or squeezed in between therapy appointments. It erupts. So when she says she's not ready, it's not a logistical issue. It's a polite shield for something far more brutal. You don't move her, not yet. And the biggest mistake you make? You respond with understanding. You get quieter, softer, nicer. You think, if I prove I'm patient, maybe she'll see how safe I am. But safety isn't sexy. Approval doesn't trigger obsession, and silence doesn't build mystery. You become her emotional support animal, while the man who actually excites her is still in her DMs, still haunting her thoughts, still living rent-free in her nervous system. The truth is, men who trigger deep attraction don't get, I'm not ready. They get, this is crazy, but I can't stop thinking about you. They get, I told myself I wouldn't catch feelings again, but they get, I'm scared of how much I want you. These are the confessions of a woman who's overwhelmed by her own desire. And here's the real kicker. Those guys didn't wait. They didn't prove themselves. They didn't check in every 2 weeks to ask if she's finally open to more. They just were. Undeniable, polarizing, self-sufficient. So here's your challenge. Stop playing the polite placeholder. Stop orbiting women who aren't ready. Stop asking for scraps of attention like a beggar when you should be the feast. She's not confused. She's not healing. She's not waiting for the stars to align. If she doesn't feel it now, she probably never will. And the longer you wait, the more respect you lose. And if you're thinking, but I can make her feel it if I just play this right, then you've already lost the frame. You're playing from the passenger seat. You're asking to be chosen, not walking like a man who chooses. So why do you still want her? Why are you obsessed with the woman who said she's not ready? Because she didn't reject you hard enough to make it final. That's the insidious thing about I'm not ready. It's rejection wrapped in softness. It doesn't slam the door. It leaves it cracked just wide enough to keep your ego chasing. And so you wait. You stay friends. You keep talking. You convince yourself she's just scared of falling. But deep down, you're scared of something else entirely. You're scared to admit that she didn't see you as the man. You're scared that after all your effort, all your patience, all your healthy masculinity, she still didn't want you, not really. So instead of walking away with your spine straight, you bargain. You cling to hope. You rewrite the story so it hurts less. She's just healing. She's intimidated by me. She's emotionally unavailable. But here's the raw truth. If she met a man tomorrow who pulled her into his world with unapologetic gravity, all that hesitation would disappear. She'd be ready. She'd be laughing on his couch, wearing his shirt, ignoring your messages. Attraction doesn't ask for permission. It floods the system. It overrides excuses. That's what it does when the energy is real. And you feel that in your gut, don't you? That quiet resentment building up every time she says, "I'm just figuring things out." That heaviness when she posts a story with another guy. That sharp pain when you realize you're just a placeholder in her emotional orbit. Close enough to comfort, but never close enough to claim. You think she's being kind. You think there's still a chance. But what she's really doing is keeping you warm while she waits for someone who sets her on fire. You need to feel that. Not as bitterness, not as shame, but as a wake-up call. Because the longer you sit in that purgatory, the further you drift from your own power. You start shrinking. You start contorting yourself into a version you think she'll want. You become predictable, unmysterious. You try to solve a problem that's not yours to solve. And here's the worst part. You start believing that attraction is a reward you earn by being good enough. That if you wait long enough, prove yourself long enough, she'll come around. But attraction is not a resume. It's not a checklist. It's a reaction. Primal, instinctual, immediate. You don't negotiate your way into her desire. You ignite it, or you don't. And if you don't, the most high-value thing you can do is walk. Not with malice, not with drama, but with finality. Because every second you wait for her to choose you is a second you're choosing not to evolve. Let her go. Let the silence speak. Let your absence do what your presence never could. Create the contrast that shows her what she's missing. But don't wait for that either. You don't become magnetic by disappearing. You become magnetic by transforming. By becoming the kind of man who doesn't get, "I'm not ready." So what does that man actually look like? He's not chasing. He's not proving. He's not hoping. He's building. He's focused. He walks into every room like he owns the oxygen. He doesn't speak to impress. He speaks to express. He's not trying to be agreeable. He's living by his code. And when a woman says, "I'm not ready," he doesn't take it personally. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't spiral. Because he knows something most men never learn. You don't need to convince a woman who already feels it. He knows that energy doesn't lie. That when he walks in alignment, physically strong, mentally unshakable, emotionally centered, he doesn't ask for respect or desire. He commands it. Not by force, not by arrogance, but by presence. The kind of presence that unsettles the average, inspires the curious, and ignites the feminine at its core. That's the man she is ready for, even when she swears she's not. Because women will say, "I'm not ready," with their mouths, while their body is leaning in, while their eyes are locked, while their mind is racing with thoughts they don't want to admit. The reason she's not ready isn't because she's unsure. It's because she's terrified. Terrified of how much she would give if the right man came along. And you know what terrifies her even more? That man not needing her. Because here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing her readiness, her attention, her affection, that's when she starts feeling it. When you stop orbiting her and start orbiting your purpose, your grind, your discipline, your own silence, that's when she starts wondering, what changed? Why doesn't he care anymore? Who's he talking to now? And that shift doesn't come from tactics. It doesn't come from playing hard to get or disappearing for a week. It comes from a deep, grounded belief that you are the prize. Not because you read it on a meme, but because you built it in real time. You looked in the mirror, dropped the victim story, and became the man you were chasing her to validate. So when she says, "I'm not ready," you don't argue. You don't wait. You don't ask for updates. You say, "I get it." And then you leave with your head up because you know what most men can't stomach. The man who walks away with options is always more powerful than the man who waits with hope. And when you start to become that man, everything shifts. Conversations feel different. People treat you differently. Women look at you differently. You no longer need their permission to feel desired. You radiate it. And if she comes back, if she changes her mind, you don't rush back. You don't gloat. You evaluate. Because you're not trying to win her. You're deciding if she still fits the world you're building. That's the real switch. That's the evolution. That's when "I'm not ready" stops being a trigger and becomes a filter. You either move her soul or you move on.